say, do your research and really quiz the manufacturer of whatever it is. But as I say, unfortunately, it's not cheap, and that's the downside.
Yeah, I think the key thing I'd like to mention as well about that is if you talk to the company that produces the reverse osmosis system, perhaps, which is the most efficient, just talk to them about the particular products that they use, because some claim certain things that they can't provide with technical information of how much fluoride it removes or how much it removes after a certain time. They do tend to deteriorate. So just quiz your company and ask for some evidence on there. Sorry, I saw someone raise a hand on this side.
It was more an answer to the same question. As it is in the video, there's no actual foolproof way to protect yourself from it, except by stopping them selling it to the company, because it all filters through. If it's made in our food, it ends up in our kitchens, we wash our food with it. There's really no other way to protect damage by stopping these people from selling their toxic waste. It's just an evolved way of throwing it in the ocean. They've just tricked everyone. It's by, it's like instead of throwing it in the ocean, just give it to you and let it filter it out.
If they did the same with the same amount of fluoride and just dumped it into the environment and so trickled it around the place, it would be an environmental disaster. It would be such a problem that I can't imagine the scale. But yet going through the water, as I mentioned earlier, it's a convenient dilution to pollution by, it's a convenient solution to pollution by dilution. And that's it.
I went to the talk 2 years ago with Dr. Connett here, and I did my research, and I bought a water filtration system from Pure Water in Texas, $490, and it's designed specifically to take fluoride out of water. So you can get a system, but you just can't buy it in Australia. And the water's free.
Sorry.
I have a
Pure Water system.
It's where they, I'm not 100% about it, they just evaporate the water and then use that evaporated water for the fluoride free. And then we rent the system $40 for 3 months, and you pay $10 for 15 litres of water.
Look, it might be a good idea if we put a discussion up on the Facebook page soon and make sure there are other people will use different filter systems, different bottled water supplies. Well, I mean, let's have a discussion on the Facebook page, get information out there so people can make an informed decision.
I just want to say that drinking cups of tea wasn't actually mentioned in the presentation. And I think that I've had a fluoride overdose for years because I've been a great tea drinker. We're brought up, have a cup of tea, makes you feel better. And all the tea information was just one on today recently. It's good for you, green tea is good for you. But the problem is, tea has an uptake through its leaves, particularly black tea. And when you drink it, you're getting over 1 part per million in the tea. And also through the water. And when you boil the jug to make the tea, it concentrates the fluoride. So if you drink a lot of tea, that's another way that you can get fluoride into your
That's an excellent point that they raised there. Even so, tea is just one of the substances. You must remember that there are lots of other substances that you're exposing yourself with fluoride through. In fact, for some time I've been eating lots of nuts. I thought, well, nuts are great, very healthy and nutritious, and they're one of the highest contents of fluoride as well. And specifically, the way they actually kept the fumigating fluoride products and pesticides.
Gentlemen over there.
Very good.
Have you identified any of the members of this committee?
We've identified one, and that's simply because we made the bad misfortune of having a public consultation in Yanchep, and thanks to Google Alerts, we got wind of it and we turned up en masse. And it was very telling, that particular incident, that they had the advert in the paper about 2 months before, North Coast Times. And that was the last mention. And on the day in the community centre, there was a little notice about that size, which said Fluoridation Public Water Committee discussion on fluoridation Yanchep. And I went in, and they'd set their trestle table up with the three, the president, his name is off the top of my head, the president and a couple of others, and they put 2 chairs in front. That's how many people they expected to turn up for public consultation. Luckily, we surprised them a little bit by turning en masse with about 30 people. Hence why, after they quite clearly got a resounding no from that 30 people, they did a phone poll of residents in Yanchep, and then after that they did a postal ballot of residents in Yanchep. That was 18 months ago, and they have still not published the results. However, the poll was conducted exactly the same time in Carnarvon, and because Vincent Tanya, the local member, obviously pressured them so much they did publish that and found it was a resounding no. And that's the point when people get asked, do you want to be medicated? There is always a resounding no.
Actually did those surveys very quickly when they saw us advertising, saw your group advertising too. We were handing out leaflets to the whole of Yanchu.
Yeah.
And they very quickly got a poll in.
So one would presume they got results, and of course these are unaudited. There's no, they counted anyway. So read into what you will, but say those results haven't been published yet.
If they don't put the fluoride in our water systems, what's the alternative to that? Are they reluctant to stop doing this because it's too expensive to do it in a different way, to get rid of the fluoride in a different way?
Well, I mean, that's certainly the claim. They'll say this is a really efficient way of delivering healthcare to the whole population, but as we've demonstrated with just those figures from Yanchu and 2-year-olds, $500,000 just to set it up, 50,000 years to run, a population of 5,000. Surely that is a hell of a lot of money which can be reinvested into proper medical care, dental care for the whole community. Don't look very back.
I think there's something deeper going on, maybe a deeper conspiracy of religious, we're giving getting fluoride for money reasons, getting rid of toxic waste.
I don't know. I mean,
the population with lower in IQ or reducing our spirituality for the pineal gland or something like that.
to say, there's many different theories why. My personal belief is it's pure policy laziness. They've been doing it for so long now, and they keep reassuring themselves it's safe. It's just the way it goes. It would just always do it because it's always been done this way. So last time there was an independent parliamentary review into this was 1966. That's a hell of a long time ago, and they're experimenting with our health ever since.
Are you able to talk about some of the health effects on the pineal gland?
Not in a very scientific way. I would
Can I just
recommend, yeah.
You're right, yeah. The pineal gland is right in the centre of your brain, and autopsies show that people who have had a lifetime exposure of fluoride, it's completely calcified. It's in, that's the most concentrated amount of fluoride that will go into the tissues. The teeth, the bone, pineal gland will absorb everything. And that's where we produce our melatonin, and that's where we produce our circadian rhythms, and day, night, sleep, restfulness, and that can interfere with that production. So above all, that's probably a really scary effect. But again, they're not looking, they're not finding it, and that's the scary bit. Absolutely, pineal gland's a whole other presentation nearly.
Absolutely. And we have, let's say, on the website there will be a number of peer-reviewed papers which can talk in much more detail about that particular side of things.
I just have one more question about boiling the kettle. Someone told me once that if you boil it once, then it gets rid of a lot of things, maybe some fluoride, but if you keep boiling it, then the water gets useless.
Chlorine is destroyed by heating or by leaving out in the open.
Yeah. So boiling the kettle doesn't really
concentrates. The creating actually concentrates.
Concentrates. Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
So after you stop drinking fluoridated water, are the health effects reversible, or does it stay with you what's already been done?
Well, as Dr. Yolanda said, it builds up in your body, particularly with children. But over time, it will reduce. But it's a long-term thing.
The fluoride being removed from your body, the actual half-life of fluoride being removed is about 15 years. So about half, if you stop all the fluoride intake from today, it'll take you 15 years to lose half of it. And then the following 15 years to lose half of that. And so on. So it's not a quick process.
If the effects progress too far, then it is irreversible.
Oftentimes it's mentioned by the medical profession that yes, if you've got some sort of condition, such as arthritis, osteosclerosis, they're not going to give you any amazing cures.
To answer that question, I think it's the same as heavy metals and things like that. They generally will accumulate in the body, and particularly with our typical Western diet, doesn't help any. If you go on a bit of a campaign yourself and try and eat detoxing foods and do a bit of research on detoxifying your body, then certainly you'll start flushing out all sorts of stuff.